So I've only built one computer this year so far, and we're going into April, and that's a sad state of affairs. So I'm gonna go ahead and build my second computer of the year for a family friend. This episode is brought to you by CuriosityStream, a subscription streaming service that offers thousands of documentaries and nonfiction titles for some of the world's best filmmakers, including exclusive originals. CuriosityStream is perfect for those who love to learn about new things, whether it be history, science, or just anything nerdy. You guys know I love warships, which is why I can't get enough of the series Ships That Changed the World, which chronicles the events that changed the future of naval warfare forever. One of the best things about CuriosityStream is that it's available on many platforms, including Roku, Android, Xbox One, smart TVs, iOS, Chromecast, Amazon Fire and Kindle, Apple TV, and more, which means you can take it with you anywhere. Get unlimited access starting at just $2.99 a month or $19.99 per year. And for our audience, the first 30 days are completely free if you sign up at curiositystream.com/JayzTwoCents and use the promo code JayzTwoCents during the sign-up process. So indulge your quest to learn, explore, and understand by heading to CuriosityStream using the link in the description below. Oh, dude, I found more SSDs. All right, so if you've tried to build a computer in 2020 or 2021 now, you know that you can get most of the parts that you need. There's some markups and a lot of stuff right now. Graphics cards, CPUs, very expensive, if you can even get them. And now that we have container ships that are stuck in the Suez Canal, apparently containing containers of NVIDIA graphics cards. I don't know how they verified that, but apparently it's going all over the place that that ship has graphics cards on it, and it's now stuck in the Suez Canal sideways like Austin Powers, you know, when he was trying to like 68-point turn around the golf cart. Okay, that's a rant. Point is, if you tried to build a computer, that you can't. And so we're gonna be building a computer today actually for the son of a family friend. He was like, hey, can my son build a computer? Like, he wants to build a computer, you know, what do you recommend? And I was like, well, here's the state of affairs. And I kind of explained to him the fact that you can't buy any of that stuff, and he was really disappointed. I said, however, you're in luck. Although I won't sell parts to you guys, I will, however, barter, trade, sell, make arrangements to, like in this case, we made an arrangement of trading. He's a hardscape designer, so he is able to exchange some services for this computer, which is exactly what we're doing. It's actually for his son who wants to game and do YouTube videos and stuff. So I built a computer here, or I'm gonna build a computer that I think will do a really good job at both being a gaming PC and an editing PC. Also too, not to embarrass him or anything, if you guys wanna check out his stuff, I'll put a link to his stuff down there. Be nice, he's new to this scene. Just welcome him. Don't berate him because he got something and you didn't, because I know some of you guys right now are already triggered. But anyway, let's talk about the parts that we've got here. I'm gonna be putting his parts in the Obsidian 500D. Still one of my favorite mid-tower cases because of the way that it's all aluminum panels, the doors are on hinges, it's all tempered glass, it looks nice, plus it's RGB. When I asked him, like, what do you care about most? He said RGB. He's a teenager, okay? It's fine. Graphics card. We're going with the Asus 2080 Ti Strix, a card that was very, very difficult to get when it was the, you know, top tier at the time. A card that I think will go into good hands. And I think this will obviously be able to play video games. How many of you right now without a graphics card would just love to get your hands on a 2080 Ti? So we'll be putting that in there. It's got more VRAM than a 30 series or a 3070. However, it is kind of a trade-off, right? It's second gen RT cores versus, well actually first gen RT core versus second gen. I don't think anyone would scoff at getting that graphics card. I would love to put a 30 series card in here. However, just like you guys, I have only like a couple of each type that we use for our benchmarks and such. I can't let any of those go. CPU wise though, this one's kind of an easy choice. Intel's really lacking these days. You know that 11th gen's coming out. They whacked 2 cores, 4 threads off of their top tier mainstream, which leads me to believe we've got some new extreme stuff coming later down this fall. I have a prediction video coming up on that. But I went with the Ryzen 7 5800X, an 8-core, 16-thread CPU that is cheaper than the 11900K, as far as we know anyway. And I think it's gonna be great for both the IPC, gives you amazing gaming performance, which has been tested over and over and over. And obviously 16 threads is plenty to render videos, especially if you're gonna be offloading it to a GPU anyway. But because we're talking about live streaming, gaming, and video editing, we've got 32 gigs of I almost said RipSkill. Yes, RipSkill GJAWS, no, Trident Z RGB memory from G-Skill. I almost did it again. The motherboard, we're going with the Tough Gaming X570 Plus Wi-Fi. 1, it's got Wi-Fi. I don't know what their wired situation is. 2, it's a tough motherboard. No, really, it's a great motherboard without having to break the bank with going with something like a Crosshair 8 or a Strix. You get all the features that you want. You get PCIe Gen 4, which we'll be using, not necessarily with this exact NVMe SSD. However, this is a 970 EVO Plus 1 terabyte NVMe. If he wants to upgrade storage later or get a larger drive, he can do that. He has multiple NVMe slots on here, and he'll be able to take advantage of the speeds of Gen 4. This is still gonna be like 4,000 megabytes a second read write, which is plenty. But I feel like the Tough Gaming is a really good mix for performance, gaming, features without being overly expensive or paying like $400 or $500 like the some of the Crosshair stuff, or $700 for something like the MSI Godlike. In terms of cooling, I really thought about going with an air cooler. There's two reasons why I didn't. One, I'm JayzTwoCents. I water cool everything. But really it came down to the fact that I don't have any air coolers to put in here. And I realized that as I was looking on the shelf, I'm like, you know, I've got an awful lot of water coolers. All this crap over here, that's all custom water cooling components. But I wanted to go with an air cooler because it's his first like real gaming PC. They have a computer that's like a friend built a long time ago or whatever, and it's old. This is gonna be his first computer. He's old enough now to have it, where he was just a young kid before. I want it to be zero maintenance. But because I don't have an air cooler, I'm gonna go ahead and put in a Kraken X72 because I look at it this way. If something goes wrong with this, I can handle it. I have communication with him. I can fix it, have him bring it back to me, whatever. We'll take care of it at that time. Plus it's a 360 rad, which means it's gonna fill out the top of this case, and it's gonna keep the X5 or 580, 5800 Gs. 5800X as cool as possible. And then for a power supply, we're just going with the EVGA 850 gold rated power supply, plenty of power. So let's go ahead and start putting it together. All right, so interrupting this montage to tell you about a parts change here. So you saw, and some of you might have even noticed when I was doing the parts selection slash explanation, that I was gonna go with the Kraken X72 on the top because 360, and you guys were like, you can't fit a 360 up top. So we've repackaged that one. I went to put it in and realized it now. The bracket only supports 280 or 240. So then I was gonna put in a Kraken X52, and then I thought, well, wait a minute. If I'm not gonna use a 360, I'm gonna go ahead and go with a Celsius S24 from Fractal Design because I like the fact that it can be controlled off the motherboard through a single plug. It will look way neater than all the stuff coming off the NZXT case, which means I won't have to have CAM installed now to control the pump there. It'll just get rid of one piece of bloatware, and then I'll just put the light loop fans on here. That way there are light loops all throughout the case for all the blinky lights like we want. I was originally gonna be like, well, I'll put these 3 on the top on a 360 and none on the back because I don't wanna run an extra Commander Pro or anything to have to deal with one extra fan. That's a lot of wiring for one fan. Now I have 2 on the top, 1 on the back, so we'll be back to 6 fans and we're up and running. This is the stuff that even though you build over and over and over, and I've built in this particular case, I completely forgot that. In fact, the build log for Dark Knight, which used this exact case, I even talked about squeezing a 280 up there because I wanted the biggest ride I could get because I couldn't fit a 360, and we even did custom tubing runs to fit it. I remember now. right, so here you can see it's built. We went with a very blacked out theme, lots of RGB in here. One thing I like about the Corsair Carbide 500D is the fact that, or is it Obsidian 500D? Sorry, not Carbide, it's Obsidian series. Is the fact that it actually comes with real 120 millimeter light loop fans in the front. So I added 4 more, as you guys, well, 3 more, as you can see, 2 for the 240 radiator, and then 1 in the back. I'm glad we're not doing a 360 up top after all, because I was not gonna put one in the back, like I said, because I don't wanna run another lighting module and another Commander Pro for, I guess I could run 1 lighting module and had the back fan be on the motherboard, but still, I don't wanna run another SATA power plug and another module simply for 1 fan. That's ridiculous. Particularly with the back, I think it turned out pretty good, actually. There's a lot of cables in here. I mean, granted, you can see a lot of them shoved down in here into the basement, which is on purpose. I've pre-wired here for a SATA drive if he wants to put either a 2.5-inch SATA drive there or a 3.5-inch drive for extra storage. So the SATA cable is plugged in, the power's there, he doesn't have to think about it. And then the hardest part with this particular case is the fact that they give you no additional depth. And right at the bottom of the channel right here, you can see that's where they put one of the lighting commanders, or the lighting modules, so it takes up some thickness. And this door stays shut with magnets. So if the wire's too thick, the door won't stay shut. So as you can see, I nailed that. I left the plastic on. I want him to be able to peel it off. It's his computer, let him do the first peel. So let's see now if we actually get a first boot. So power supply on. Motherboard lighting has lit up. Now here's the thing with Ryzen, or any AMD. The first boot on the motherboard takes forever. Enough to make you think something is like actually wrong. One of the things I don't like about the Tough Series motherboard though is it doesn't give us a QR or Q code readout. So you're just kind of left wondering, is it gonna boot? This particular motherboard might need a BIOS update for this particular CPU. So what I'm probably gonna have to do right here is I'm probably gonna have to throw in one of our 3000 series CPUs, update the BIOS, and then put it back in there. But I'm just gonna give it a minute and see. You'd be surprised sometimes how long it can actually take for it to boot up. Where's the clear CMOS? So we think the graphics card's actually fine. We noticed that the DRAM light was on, which tells us one of these RAM sticks might not be playing well because we're booting now, as you can see. So now what I'm gonna do, now it's turning into a troubleshooting video, is I'm gonna go ahead and add a second stick, and then let's see where it fails. I could have also had one not seated in there properly. That's why one of the easiest way to troubleshoot if a computer won't boot is just unseat the RAM and reseat it. Because when they were coming out, they felt like they were coming out really easy. Yeah, see, we still got a blue. There we go, we're so good there. And you know what though? It could have just been stuck too. Now that we got a good boot, it probably worked just fine. Let's see. Green, yeah, there we go. See, all right, we're good. So let's put that graphics card back in because we're not gonna leave that thing there. No, I actually like the guy. You, just a friend from work. All right, so you can see we're up and running. Our BIOS is updated. It was originally on like 1201 or something like that. Our latest BIOS is 3602 from 3.6, so it's only a few days old. There we go. So now we're gonna put our 5800X back in there and let's just go ahead and see if it even boots. You might have noticed there's only 2 screws on there because the cooler's barely touching the CPU because, again, just needed it to turn on so I could flash the BIOS. What are you freaking out, bro? Stop it. All right, here we go. It should automatically detect that it's a different CPU and just work, theoretically. Okay, that's a good sign. If you can't tell, the good sign is the fact that the GPU slowed down. Okay, it's booting twice. That's also a good sign. It means it recognized the new CPU. Red light, white light, green light, and blue light. There we go. No, it's all the sequences of lights. When there's no Q code like reader, look at that, new CPU installed. Press F1 to run startup. Boom. Come on, you can do it. There we go. So look at that. Everything's there, everything's recognized. F7, here's our 5800 XT8 core, 16 thread. I'm gonna go through and speed up the memory and stuff now in terms of DOCP. So now we gotta go in here, we gotta wipe this drive, we gotta get our OS installed, we gotta get our software installed, like our IQ to control these lights. We gotta get our IQ set up also for fan curve for these fans. We got to get MSI Afterburner and or Aura and all that stuff running so I can control the fans on the GPU, get all the updates installed. In fact, if you're watching this video going, well, I want to know about all that stuff because I want to know what you do after you build a computer, then what you can do is you can check this link down below, or this little pop out right here. We actually did a video all about what to do after you build your tower. So many people talk about how to build a tower, but very few people actually talk about what to do next. And that's where a lot of people just get confused. So learn how to take the next steps by watching the video down below. And as always, guys, thank you for watching this video. And we'll see you in the next one.